Look closely at this shield. What do you see? It depicts an Eocade warrior with a dancing blade, fighting amongst flames on a red plain. It's really, really cool if you haven't looked at it. When I set out to make this build, I had just beat Elemer of the Briar, and if you don't know, Elemer of the Briar drops his Greatsword and the Thorn Greatshield. Now, most people take the Thorn Greatshield and put it in their storage, pretty much immediately. It's not the best Greatshield in the game. However, if you look at it, it is probably one of the cooler Greatshields in the game. It's an okay Greatshield, but it has some innate bleed properties to it. And now, if you're looking for a pure, blood Greatshield, the Spike Palisades can be far better, but it does not have the style that the Thorn Greatshield has. If you look closely at it, you can see the painting and depiction on the Thorn Greatshield. So I set out to create a thematic lore build with this, based around trading with hosts and phantoms, using the shield bash into their attacks, building up bleed, kind of using their own aggression against them until they pop, and then really pressing the aggressiveness on my part using Uchigatana and Morningstar, which are just heavy infused, which is not optimal for Uchigatana, but went for a little bit more damage in this, and I can buff it with bleed, so that's fine. Again, this is a level 50 build. It's not optimal, but it's fun, and that's kind of the theme of what we're going to talk about today. I really enjoy this build. It is a lot of fun. It is not incredibly strong, but it has a theme to it. It has some lore to it that I think are really neat. Basically, the shield is an Eldritch shield, in my mind, inspiring and possessing the host, whoever carries it, aka my character, to create more depictions and basically put more blood on the shield. And that's kind of the idea behind it, and I really think that's really, really cool and kind of Lovecraftian. So I'm here all for that. And so the name of the character is the Red Canvas. Now, the Red Canvas can either be the shield itself, or the metaphorical idea of creating a red canvas with the hosts and the phantoms' blood upon the shield that it possesses and inspires the character to do and to make on the shield. But again, the theme of this in this video is going to be enjoying the build you make, even if it's not the strongest build, making a build that you want to play with, and then finding ways to make that build work. Even if it's not the best build, you can make about any build work. And if you're going to learn to invade, you also have to learn to enjoy your build. Alright, we have here a host and overleveled Phantom looking to fight the boss in this area. The Phantom has all the high-level madness incantations. He has Lusat Staff, he has high-level spellcasting. He's very overleveled. I don't know exactly what level he is. I figured out later. I think I posted on the screen, but it's not relevant right now because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have to deal with him before I can get to the host, or I'm going to have to distract him enough and use up enough of his FP so that I can get to the host without risking just being nuked to oblivion from behind by him. So they're casting a ton of different spells at me, and I am just waiting here, letting them use all that FP, just waste it, so that when they run out of it, and they will run out of it soon enough, all they'll be able to fight me with is whatever weapons they have. And that's a situation I can easily deal with. Even if they're doing a lot of damage still, if I'm not getting nuked by super high level spells from every direction, that's a much better fight for me to win at a low level, or a high level, it doesn't matter. So I'm playing around them, letting them use their FP on me, trying to see if I can get them hit with some of those stray golden braid arrows, using a little bit of pressure on the host to get the Phantom to come at me. And really just ultimate goal is to try to get them to engage that boss over there, because he is a party killer. If you can get them over to fight that boss while you're here with them, you have a very high chance of success. It is a known party and host killer, so really, really, really try to get them to that. And I'm going to, it's going to be my main strategy, as you can see throughout this entire invasion. They're obviously a little cocky. You can see a little teabag in there. The Phantom is just letting me hit him every once in a while, knowing that I'm not going to do a lot of damage to him. That will probably be their downfall, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. I'm very happy with this. I'm having a great time. I don't know if they're having a great time. I hope they are. That's the goal, but we will see. This stalemate goes on for a little while, so let's zoom ahead. All right, this is the moment that I've been waiting for. The Phantom has gotten tired of the situation. He's gotten bored of our fighting. He's made a mistake. He's trying to nuke the boss right now, and he's not paying attention to me. I will not let this overleveled Phantom help this player cheese this boss without a real fight. So I will take this opportunity to kill the Phantom. And now this entire fight has changed. Just because of a little bit of patience, this host is on his own. The boss is now engaged. He's going to start casting lightning at him too. And this whole invasion has switched around. Now, it's just a game to see how long it takes before the host dies to get hit by those golem arrows. And if you'll see in a second, he gets hit by that lightning. And it's GG. So that last fight showcased one of the problems that goes on in Elden Ring, and kind of one of a problem that's going on in Souls games in general, and that is the over-level phantoms that you come across in invasions. And just in the game in general, I understand that, the point of the co-op in this game and password co-op is to be able to summon friends into your game to help you out, but I really think that From Software should consider, kind of the level ranges that you can bring friends into this game. When you're like a level 15, you can bring in a level 400 character or a player to kind of assist you with it or fight invasions. I don't think it really is doing much for your game or for your enjoyment to just have that player give you everything and just kind of coast you through the game. Now, again, it's a game that people buy with their own money and they play in their own way. So, I understand, and I guess you probably shouldn't change it because people should be able to enjoy it the way they want to. I just think it's a little ridiculous, and I don't see what people get out of it. But, that's just my take on it. People disagree, that's fine. But I do think the real problem with it is when you're doing invasions like this. I'm a level 50. That Phantom was a level 388. Even if they're, slightly nerfed in invasions, what is the average person going to do with that? They're just going to die. Like, there's no... If someone who has very little experience in this game and how to play around something, in invasions or play around someone of that level that doesn't have my experience in this, they're just going to lose, and they're going to wonder, why would you ever do invasions when this is the balance of the game? And it's something I think that really should be considered. I don't know if they need to nerf damage on some of those phantoms a little bit. I have no idea, but it seems a little bit... It's something that people have talked about. It's just a lot, and it's very hard to deal with. But as opposed to the last invasion, this was an incredibly fun invasion. This is the potential for what every invasion could be if everything goes right, and if maybe some slight changes are made in the game. So these two characters, they messaged me later. They're having a great time, and they appreciated my build, and that was very flattering of them to say. They're doing a Taunter's Tongue run. So they're running through the game together. They're summoning invaders in. As you can see, I have another invader over there who knows what the hell he's doing. He's just being useless. And so I'm fighting both of these guys, having a great time, and just enjoying this invasion. This is fun. These aren't overleveled characters. They have strong weapons. They have some end-level stuff, or some end-game stuff, but that's fine. Like, they're playing with me. We're fighting back and forth, having a great time. I'm using the PvE to help fight them, and it's just fun. It's just really, really fun. That was pretty smart right there. Kudos to him. So we skip ahead a little bit. I am completely out of flasks. I've been fighting these guys for a little while back and forth. My co-invader is nowhere to be found. So I'm relying on some of the living jar, inner healing items, whatever they are, that also poison you to see if I can drag this out a little bit longer. At this point, I know I've kind of lost the invasion, or I think I've lost the invasion. And they send me, the host and the Phantom send me a message, basically telling me now that they're doing a Taunter's Tongue run, and that they're sorry that my co-invader has been pretty awful. So I know these guys have done this before. They probably invaded in the past, and they're pretty considerate. I tell them basically, hey guys, I appreciate it, or hey guys or girls, I appreciate it, but this is how invasions go sometimes. Let's just play it out, let's have a good time, and let's see where things end up. So they do. They come at me, though, one-on-one at this point, just to kind of, draw it out a little bit, and I guess in appreciation for the fighting that I've done with them and the invasion itself, which I'm sure they seem like at least it's been pretty fun for them. And I've had a great time too. In fact, actually, after this is done, the host messages me and tells me that he really, really thought my build was cool. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to get at here. This is not a ridiculous build. This is not an overpowered bleed build. It's just kind of a fun, unique build with a thematic look and kind of an easy to get message from players. If they see it, I'm sure they understand kind of what I'm going for and what I'm doing with it and the lore behind the character. And, you know, some people will appreciate that. Some people won't care. But if you appreciate the lore of your character, if you appreciate the build you've made, other people might too. And, you know, that's pretty cool. Like, so just, again, as it comes down to the theme of this, enjoy the character you make. Learn how to use them in the right ways. If you die, you die. But every once in a while, you're going to get great invasions and fights with him or her. And it's worth just enjoying. Like, so just play the way you want to play and have a good time.
All right, for every fun build, there's going to be a couple that are not as fun. You know, you can't ever have too much of a good thing in a game. It just doesn't seem to exist. So this is not an overleveled Phantom or host that we're dealing with here. Well, it wouldn't be an overleveled host, just overleveled Phantom. But we are dealing with a laggy Phantom and a host that's using St. Trina's Sleep Sword. Now, he's not using, you know, 2 of them, so it's not too ridiculous. But this entire build, obviously, is kind of cheesy. It's just relying on sleep. You know, and then just one that your opponent has been put to sleep, just doing a crap ton of damage to them really quickly. Oftentimes it will immediately, you'll get sleep with the sword and they'll switch to something, you know, much bigger or just with a crap ton of damage and just destroy you in an instant. Host isn't doing that, but it's not very fun to play against, and there's a reason you don't see it a whole lot unless it's on tryhards. Or just on, you know, annoying hosts. But anyway, no matter what, it's fine. We're determined here. I'm determined to see about having a good time in this invasion, so we're going to play it out. But they're making me come to them, which is fine because I get to bleed out that Phantom. What isn't fine, though, is kind of a trend that has been going on longer than Elden Ring, but hasn't certainly not gotten any better with Elden Ring. And that is the bonfire / rune or grace hosts that will fight you for a little bit of time, but then when they start losing and, you know, the battle turns against them, they'll run, summon other phantoms again, resummon phantoms, or just kind of run around the map and make you chase them the entire time. Now, I want to be fair. I understand that, you know, I played PvP a good bit in this game. I'm probably better than this guy or girl. They may not, you know, be as good at this as I am, and so I don't have a problem with him, you know, resummoning a phantom again. But what I do have a problem with is making me run and chase you across the entire map instead of just fighting. Watch in a second and tell me if you think that this gameplay that you're about to see is interesting. Just watch and tell me what you think. We've talked about fun builds and having fun in invasions, and you know, this kind of thing, I don't like having to chase this guy down. This is not fun for me. He doesn't seem like he's enjoying it. I'm not really enjoying it. I think we both would have a better time if he just, you know, stood his ground and fought. Don't be like this host. You know, there's nothing wrong with losing in a video game. You don't have to. You won't lose any prestige in real life if you die here in this church in this stupid game. I don't understand why, you know, it just seems like they feel like they're going to lose some sort of personal sense of honor if they die, or they'll be, you know, something bad will happen to them if they do. It's a game. It's meant to be enjoyed. Stand your ground, fight, and if you die, you die. It's a game. I've died 1,000,000 times in this game, probably far more than that host ever has. Anyway, have fun. Hope you enjoy.